Today is Thursday, the 15th of August, and it marks the birthday of Namibia's fourth president, Nangolo Mbumba. We wish President Mbumba a happy 83rd birthday filled with wisdom, good health, and strength. May you enjoy many more cake first, Your Excellency. Good evening to our global audience, and much appreciated for joining us for the next 20 minutes as we unpack the stories behind the headlines. I'm Michael Madimba. Before we commence, we would like to issue a correction regarding an error that aired on our Monday evening newscast. We mistakenly attributed an audio recording to Ambassador Penda Nanda, the Executive Director of the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation. The recording was in fact of Ambassador Jerabim Shanika, Deputy Executive Director and Head of the Department of Multilateral Relations as well as Cooperation. We sincerely apologize for any confusion this may have caused. Leading tonight's bulletin. Unfolding events in the Oshana region have revealed that Petrus Ndolita, a teacher from Oshana Primary School, claiming unfair dismissal, has a long-standing history of corporal punishment. This revelation was made by the Minister of Education, Arts and Culture. Now, Ndolita was dismissed recently following an incident in which he allegedly forced a grade 7 learner to hold a chair over his head for an extended period. Sheila Peristrello brings you more details.
Down the abuse of power by Oshana principles, down! Down! By the abuse of this very power by the principles, down! Amandra! Amandra! Amandra!
The dismissal of Petrus Ndeolita, a teacher at Hashiana Primary School who was dismissed after being found guilty of first-degree corporal punishment, has sparked an outcry from the community who want to know why a 44-year-old man who stands accused of raping his biological daughter on various occasions was allowed to return to duty as principal, while Ndeolita is not. The ministry's executive director, Sanet Steenkamp, in a statement on Tuesday, clarified that this was not Ndeolita's first offense, as his personal records revealed a history of 14 reported cases of corporal punishment. She stressed that the ministry remains committed to upholding the highest standards of professional conduct and ensuring that all disciplinary processes are conducted with fairness and justice.
A dedicated teacher who has been unjustly dismissed for fulfilling his duty to discipline a learner in the best interest of their growth and development. This act of injustice is not only an attack on Mr. Petrus Ndeolita, but an assault on the integrity and authority of all educators who strive to mold the future of our society.
Sheila Peristrello reporting for Primetime News.
Meanwhile, the school principal who stands accused of raping his 15-year-old daughter has been allowed to return to his duty station while investigations are ongoing. The 44-year-old man stands accused of raping his biological daughter on various occasions between December 2023 and January 2024 and faces charges of rape and domestic violence. He was granted bail during his first appearance in the Oshakati Magistrates Court.
The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture's Executive Director, Sanet Steenkamp, when contacted for a comment on Wednesday, said the principal was allowed to return to school after being granted bail. Steenkamp said the decision to allow or disallow the accused to return to his duty station is based on several factors, including the severity of the allegations, the need to protect learners, the integrity of the investigation process, and the legal rights of the accused. She further stated that where allegations of this nature are involved, the ministry's standard response involves suspending or temporarily transferring the accused to ensure a safe environment for learners and to facilitate a thorough investigation. The ministry is thus looking into reassigning the accused to a different school while the matter is being addressed in court. Sheila Peristrello reporting for Primetime News.
Moving on to global shifting events. The World Health Organization declares that the mpox surge in Africa is now a global public health emergency, sounding its highest possible alarm over the worsening situation. The mpox virus is an orthopox virus that causes mpox, a disease with symptoms similar to smallpox. We now bring you an insight of the World Health Organization Secretary General's announcement.
Last week, I announced that I was convening an emergency committee under the international health regulations to evaluate the upsurge of mpox in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and other countries in Africa. Today, the emergency committee met and advised me that, in its view, the situation constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. The detection and rapid spread of a new clade of mpox in eastern DRC, its detection in neighboring countries that had not previously reported mpox, and the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. In addition to other outbreaks of other clades of mpox in other parts of Africa, it's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives.
Back home, Shithake Murangi, who stands accused of killing 29-year-old Frida Amadila in April this year, is said to appear in the Windhoek Magistrates Court on the 19th of August. The 22-year-old Murangi made his first appearance in the Windhoek Magistrates Court on the 25th of April after he was hospitalized following an alleged self-inflicted wound to the throat on the 8th of April. Sylvia Hashandali produced this report.
The 22-year-old Murangi made his first appearance in the Windhoek Magistrates Court on 25 April after he was hospitalized following an alleged self-inflicted wound to the throat on 8 April. According to police investigations, the deceased was allegedly stabbed 3 times in her chest with a kitchen knife at her residence in Ballard Street in Windhoek. It is further alleged that the suspect, who was also Amadila's ex-boyfriend, broke into her house, leading to an altercation. In an interview with Nampa in April, Amadila's aunt, Connie Nepando, described the deceased as a quiet person with a golden heart. Sylvia Hashandali, reporting for Primetime News.
Stay tuned for the business segment. Welcome to the Primetime Biz, your leading source for all updates business related. We commence the segment with more good news from the Bank of Namibia. The receipts from the Southern Africa Customs Union, or SACU, have significantly boosted the international reserves, which now amount to 60.8 billion Namibian dollars, is of 31st of July 2024. Now, this is higher than the 55.6 billion Namibian dollars recorded on the 31st of May 2024. Bank of Namibia Governor Johannes Kabakap disclosed this during the monetary policy announcement on Wednesday. Let's have a listen.
The stock of international reserves as at the 31st of July 2024 stood at 60.8 billion Namibian dollar, higher than the level of 55.6 billion recorded on the 31st of May 2024, mainly due to higher SACU receipts. So the reason for that is largely two things. It's SACU receipts and much higher SACU receipts. Dr. Johan actually said SACU receipts were averaging 5-6 billion. Quarterly now it's averaging around 7 billion a quarter. So that's a big contributing factor. And the second one is diamond sales. We've got quite a lot of good diamond sales this time around. This most recent level translates to an estimated import cover of 4.1 months, remaining adequate to sustain the currency peg between the Namibia dollar and the South African rand and meet the country's international financial obligations.
Staying with the central bank. The central bank's governor Johannes Kabakap during the monetary policy announcement on Wednesday revealed the sales of vehicles have declined in the first half of this year compared to last year, while the purchases of clothing and furniture have seen an increase. More on the gist from this report.
Real turnover in the wholesale and retail trade sector, you could see that has improved for the first 6 months of this year to 7.5% compared to 4.6% in the same period last year. You see, Namibians are buying quite a lot of clothes still. If you look at what happened for the first 6 months of this year compared to the first 6 months of last year. Furniture, we also buy a lot of furniture. The first 6 months of this year is about 12.5% versus 1.7% last year, same period. The number of vehicles sold has declined. So we sold about 6,300 vehicles during the first half of this year, 6,300 new vehicles. And that's about 1.1% reduction or decline from the same period of last year. It's lower than last year. The reason that we understand is scarcity of some vehicles, affordability issues, the prices of vehicles become quite expensive. Interest rates are still high for us to pay back. So that's why you see a reduction in new vehicle sales in the country.
Up next is a summary of tomorrow's countrywide weather forecast, followed by a Sport Planet segment. Stay tuned. Sport Planet, the segment dedicated to all things sport in action. Manchester United kick off the 2024-2025 Premier League season at home to Fulham on Friday before Manchester City begin the defence of the title at free spin in Chelsea on Sunday. New Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca has a baptism of fire against his former club. Maresca was part of Pep Guardiola's coaching staff at City before leading Leicester to promotion from the Championship last season. The Italian inherits a chaotic situation at Stamford Bridge, with the first-team squad now boasting over 50 players and question marks over the future of most of them. Chelsea's issues were exposed in a torrid pre-season that included a 4-2 defeat to City in the USA. By contrast, there have been few changes for Guardiola's champions. Brazilian winger Savinho is the only new arrival, while Argentine forward Julian Alvarez departed this week for Atletico Madrid. City's England trio of Kyle Walker, John Stones and Phil Foden, including Spanish midfielder Rodri, only returned to training this week after competing in the Euro 2024 final and are unlikely to start against Chelsea. Now, on to a tragic event related to football. The father of teenage Spain and Barcelona star Lamine Yamal was stabbed and left in a serious but stable condition, Spanish newspaper La Vanguardia reported late Wednesday. Munir Nasraoui was stabbed multiple times in a car park in Mataró after an argument with some men while he was walking his dog, who later came back to attack him, said the report, citing official sources familiar with the incident. The Catalan Regional Police in charge of the investigation did not publicly confirm the incident or respond to AFP requests for information. Newspaper La Vanguardia said some arrests have already been made. This concludes tonight's edition of Primetime News. Many thanks for tuning in. A reminder to follow the on-screen prompts and subscribe to the Nampa TV platform to stay updated on developments shaping the global village. On behalf of myself, Michael Medimba, and the crew behind the scenes, it's good night.